Hey, all you beautiful. Another episode. Doing a little chit chatting. I open it up. Chatting. Kind of going over a couple. One of which was being goal setting. But I also want to show off some new things. Finally smart enough by help of my brother. Full drawing pad. Nice little drawing. Cool thing. And it actually go pretty smoothly. At least smoother than last time. I tried to have one of these. With all that being said, let's talk about goals. If anyone out there has got any goals they want to talk about, that'd be great. But right now, let's go over just some basic goal setting and some goal setting mindset. Dulcet tones of game we'll be playing that after this. I wanted to cover goals and why people, in my opinion, at least the people I've talked to about goals, have had trouble with goals. They're like, I'm not quite a goal person. I find that half the time that's because they try to make this one super big goal. Don't mind my horrific song style, not an artist. They try to take this like massive goal and then they go, well, I've tried setting goals in the past, but I just always fail. But in reality, their ability to achieve said goal, whether it be motivation or ability, is all the way down here. It's this little guy right here. But then they see this massive gap. And they're like, holy smokes. There's no way I can do this. I'm just going to give up on setting goals. No point that I'll never make it. But for all those out there right now, either in the chat or in the comments, have you ever had a time when that's happened to you and you're just like, man, there's no point in setting goals, I never make them. Or, my favorite is, not a goal person. I was like, well, you're a goal person at some instance. If there's something you do that motivates you to get out of bed and do something, gotta be something. I mean, you're still here. Great. So let's try to figure out how can we help you set some better goals. Instead of saying like, hey, it's January 1st, I'm going to set this massive goal, and then 1 month in realize like it is nigh impossible for me to lose 50 pounds in 2 weeks. Like, yeah, I mean, that's not going to work. What if there's a way you could actually do that and one, not super stress out, and two, not just keep running into the same wall over and over and over again. So my thought is this. So you have this big goal, right? And maybe this is your goal for... Let's think long term. Maybe this is like your goal for 3 years. But right now, if you're watching this, take a second and think to yourself, is there a 3-year goal that I have? Is it, losing weight? Is it, getting 1,000 subs? Or is it something else? What is it for you? What do you want it to be? What is your version of success? Once you kind of identify that through your goal, look at where you're at and know, okay, how do I actually want to get here? What is this big goal? And maybe it's not a 3-year goal, maybe it's a 1-year goal. Just start somewhere. Because anyway you can do is you can take this and you can break it down something smaller. Say 1 year. And I say, okay, that's still quite a bit. All right, let's break it down. You know, what does it look like in the next quarter, next 3 months? I mean, that's still kind of big. Okay. So what's the next month look like? And then we kind of get to this area right here, which is way closer. The way closer area. And that is how you're breaking down. What do you want to accomplish this week? And what do you need to do to master today? A little thing right here. Breaking down, like, you know, I want to lose 50 pounds in 3 years. Or it's like, hey, I want to be in the best shape of my life. I want to have like a marathon or 2 under my belt. Okay, so what do you think you need to be by the end of this year? Or the end of a year? Let's say you're kind of starting right now. Let's say you start today. You're like, hey, I want to be Twitch partner. I want to be, you know, monetized on YouTube in 3 years. Like solid. I'm talking like 40K plus income from just one of those things. Okay, so what does the end of the year need to look like? Maybe the end of this year is monetization or Twitch partner, whatever it may be. Okay, so how are you going to get there in the quarter? Well, every quarter, I should probably have about, you know, let's take YouTube for example. We're taking YouTube, and by the end of the year, you know, you want to have 1,000 subs. So each quarter, you're going to want probably about 300. 4 quarters, you end up with 1,200. And then, of course, you might lose some subs on the way up there. So what do you need to do in the month? Well, this month, if I'm trying to have 300 subs by 3 months from now, you'll probably have 100 subs. And you're like, cool, I can do that. It's possible. And, you know, if you're looking at this, you're like, maybe it's not so possible. Maybe the first quarter you're ramping up. Because, you know, you kind of, if you're doing 4 quarters of 300, maybe your first quarter isn't going to be 200, but just using it for an easy breakdown. So you get to 100 subs a month. Like, well, how am I going to do that? Well, now you kind of have to operationalize it. What do you need to do in a week? You know, maybe each week you're needing to have 4 videos, 4 good quality videos a week. And then to master the day, maybe break it down Monday through Friday, the different steps. You know, like prepping for your video, filming the video, you know, edits, and upload. So now you know what you got to do day to day. Now you've taken your big goal and you've broken it down. What does the end of the year need to look like? What does the next quarter need to look like? What's this next month going to look like? What do I need to do this week? What I'm going to do today, or if you want to break it down to each day, to master the day. And now you've gone from your outcome, this right here, what you want to have, you've broken it all the way down to something simple. What do you got to do today? Now, instead of thinking like, man, how am I going to get 1,000 subs tomorrow? Well, you're not. You know what you're going to do tomorrow? You're going to prep for your next edit. You're going to prep for your next filming. What are you going to do today after that? I'm going to film. I'm edit. I'm going to upload. Well, look at that. Maybe do prep, film, edit, upload. Or prep all 4 in one day. Film all 4. Edit all 4. Upload and all the other extra stuff you got to put onto it. And then boom, you got your 4 vids a week. Or 4 vids a month. however you want to break that down to. That hopefully will lead to 100 subs. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. If you can't control it, understand, hey, you can aim for it, but you really can't control if you get subs. But you can control that daily and weekly. Get there. And so you do all that, and boom. Hopefully by the end of 3 years, you get there. Now you can do this, and you might be like, well, Matt, what if it doesn't work? What if it does? What if it does work? What if you get too closer than you've ever been before, but you're not quite there? You push it out 1 more year. And then every single time you're going through this, you're reflecting too. At the end of the week, how did I do? At the end of the day, how did I do? You know, months gone by, how am I looking on my subs? How am I looking at my video quality? Quarter goes by, how are we looking? Next quarter goes by, how are we looking? Rinse and repeat. Year goes by, okay, how are we looking? Well, we're only at 200 subs. Okay. Something's up there. Let's reflect, figure out what we gotta do, and we game plan these next 2 years to get us back on track. Just by having this kind of thought process, one, you set yourself up for success. Two, after you set yourself up for success, you have a way to continually reflect so that in and when you get off track, so if and when you get off track, you can get yourself back on track faster than if you didn't have a goal at all. You know, it's kind of the saying, like, if you aim for nothing, you hit it every single time. Like, there's a reason that exists. The other thing, too, is you can't have a dream come true if you don't have a dream. You can't succeed at your goals if you don't have a goal to begin with. Take the time to break it down and plan it out. So if you liked what you saw here, let me know, leave a comment, and even post what are some of your goals. What's a goal that maybe you gave up on that you want to try this out on so that you can be successful with your goal? Hopefully y'all enjoyed it. If you did, please let me know. And as always, hope you're out there being beautiful, lovely people, being impactful, and now being goal setters. Now with that, that's going to be the end of the just chatting. Hope you all enjoyed it. Hope you all got something from it.